So here's a question to start your day. What do a Chinese bioweapon, a 9/11 style warning, a billionaire rebellion all have in common? Well, all hell's breaking loose. Today's headlines are so staggering you think they were ripped from some dystopian script. Tom Homan sounds the alarm on what he believes will be worse than 9/11. And it's coming, quote, it's coming. Kash Patel exposes a terrifying FBI bio threat involving Chinese nationals and a crop-killing pathogen. Arrests were made. Hakeem Jeffries? Oh, he's not worried about national security. He's too busy threatening to unmask ICE agents. And all while this is happening, Elon Musk decides to declare war on Trump's White House, slamming the big beautiful bill as a disgusting abomination. No, this isn't fiction. It's your future unfolding in real time, and that's just video 1. Video 2, did you hear the update here? Kash Patel just put the deep state on notice. He found it. Oh, he found the code that he needed to unlock everything that they've been doing to President Donald J. Trump, and he is now disclosing it. And the implications are staggering. All that and so much more in just 1 minute. Like we didn't have enough to worry about when we woke up this morning. Just getting to your job, doing your daily grind isn't enough anymore. No, we have an absolute implosion in Washington, D.C. right now. Did you hear this from the border czar, Tom Homan? The warning he just gave, worse than 9/11? Listen in here for 1 minute.
Do you not agree that if we don't find these people soon, that we are at risk of a 9/11 or worse?
It's coming. This scares the hell out of me. I've been doing this for 40 years. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. This 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
They're appearing on the Sean Hannity Fox News broadcast. Nothing to be concerned about, right? Of course it's something to be concerned about. But if that wasn't enough, not enough to have on your radar right now, now I can confirm that FBI arrested a Chinese national within the United States who allegedly smuggled a dangerous biological pathogen into the country. The individual, Yu Qingjing, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, is alleged to have smuggled a dangerous fungus, which is an agroterrorism agent, into the U.S. to research at the University of Michigan where she works. The fungus can cause a disease called head blight, a disease of wheat, barley, maize, and rice, causing significant health issues in both humans and livestock. It is responsible for billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide each year. So I'm sure you want that story vetted out because we didn't, again, have enough to worry about today. There's the pathogen, the evidence. Article coming out of the Detroit News. Chinese scholar at tried to smuggle biological pathogen into the U.S., the feds say. Prosecutors say her boyfriend illegally smuggled a biological pathogen into the U.S. at the Detroit Metropolitan Airport on July 27th. When Customs and Border Protection officers questioned him, he made false statements to the CBP officials about the purpose of his visit to the United States and his knowledge of the existence of biological pathogen in his possession. Well, that's where he started. A citizen of China who received a doctorate degree in plant pathogens from a Chinese university, and investigators say they have discovered information describing, oh, you ready for this, her membership in and loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party. We have no problems. We don't need to secure our borders. We should just let everybody come in. That's worked out real well so far, hasn't it? Ultimately, Liu admitted to smuggling the pathogen and stated that he brought the pathogen into the United States so he can conduct research on it at a laboratory at the University of Michigan where his girlfriend worked. Now, both arrested. Chinese nationals charged with conspiracy and smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the U.S. for their work at the University of Michigan. Just proving out the argument here, but let's go into this a little bit further, shall we? Because it appears China could have done 2 things if this pathogen actually made it into our food supply. Kind of a paramount concern, right? Resistant cultivars could reduce damage. Well, what could reduce the damage from this pathogen they're discussing? Chinese wheat cultivar Sumai 3. What does that mean? Oh, China just happens to have a resistant strain to this, a resistant plant, a crop. And so you could use that, which was developed by China, to, stop all this trouble you're having. According to the annualreviews.org, a scientific journal. Just so you know what's going on. Not only could it have harmed humans and livestock, but it just so happens that China has something that can help to reduce the damage of the very pathogen that was just brought in from China to the U.S. And I wonder why now. Kash Patel warns that there's an imminent threat. What did he say exactly? This case is a sobering reminder that the CCP is working around the clock to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate American institutions and target our food supply, which would have grave consequences, putting American lives and our economy at serious risk. Your FBI will continue to work tirelessly to be on guard against it, but don't worry, the Democrats have something else to worry about. Something far more important, something far more critical to securing the well-being of, you and I. Tom Homan stating it's coming. Kash Patel stating imminent threat. What if everything we're seeing, terror warnings, bioattack threats, and about to be ice threats and billionaire warfare, is all connected? Part of a silent revolution already underway to stop one man, President Donald J. Trump. I'm going to go to the next two stories in line, and they are equally as shocking as what I just covered for you. Before I do, as I do every broadcast, if you like what I'm presenting here, if you like the format we're presenting it in, then please subscribe. I hope that's enough to get you there. I hope it's enough to make you subscribe as a member to this platform so you continue to get updated to news. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your bell is checked to all so you're alerted to upcoming broadcasts. If you're not sure you're getting notified, which is always a question nowadays, you can simply go to JustusAKnight.com or RestrictedRepublic.com, subscribe there, and you'll get notifications from us directly. And those should make it through a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently. If you've not been to Restricted Republic yet, the platform Lisa Haven and I created for you, it's audience-funded news, no commercials, no interruptions, just stone-cold hard facts. As a matter of fact, today, the second video I'll be doing, this video, exclusively only at Restricted Republic. You'll never believe what Kash Patel just found. Oh, he found a back-coding system the FBI was using to hide everything involving Crossfire Hurricane, at least everything they didn't want you to know. So I wonder who that wraps up in that saga, huh? Maybe Mueller? Wray? When you find out the code they used, not even FBI agents could see the information. When they went to put in a query, it simply came up null. Nothing, as if it didn't exist. And prosecutors never had access to that information. And so the stories of Nellie Orr and Bruce Orr and all the way back to Christopher Steele suddenly are going to take on a whole new focus. And guess who's declassifying the information now? Now that they found the code and they're breaking it. Oh, that's right. Kash Patel himself. And that's the story I'll bring you exclusively at Restricted Republic. I hope you'll go there right now. RestrictedRepublic.com. Annual and monthly memberships available. And you have your own dashboard to cancel anytime if you don't like what we're presenting. But I promise you, once you're there, you'll go nowhere else for your news that matters. But now let's get back to this broadcast.
I have to ask who's actually making the decisions. Who is actually running the country? Everybody wants to say Joe Biden wasn't running the country. I know for a fact he not only read his presidential daily brief, he was engaged in the meeting, he asked questions, and he gave directives. Donald Trump won't even bother to read the iPad. Well,
you heard that correctly. I mean, they'll let anybody on the air right now. Anyone. Was she serious? Oh, she's absolutely serious because they're used to saying whatever they want with no evidence, no facts at all, and thinking they're just simply going to get away with it. This is how bad the mainstream media has become. She couldn't even finish her sentence. Who's actually making decisions? I'll tell you who's making the decisions. President Donald J. Trump. Come on, you're going to draw a comparison to Joe Biden? Was she serious? Unfortunately, she was. But it gets worse than this. Hakeem Jeffries. The man when we have enough dissension right now, who says he's going to stand up. Dollar Store Obama, as I like to call him. Well, listen to what he said here, and then I want your opinion in the comments below. Was this a threat directly against ICE agents?
ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
Well, you heard him there. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. Are you calling for the unmasking of ICE agents? Man, that puts their lives in danger. Irresponsible. But Hakeem Jeffries is so often irresponsible, it's sickening to listen to. But they've gotten away with it for so long, right? So what's the consequences of that? Well, people get worked up. People don't research and they listen to this. This is in Minneapolis. I'm going to turn down the volume here real quick. Just watch it with me, and you see there all about border protection. We can't keep going after these illegals. A whole protest in the middle of the street because there was a raid going on. And so the people made an assumption that this raid that was going on, that they're protesting against, was about immigration enforcement. You see, this isn't only ICE agents. Actually, it's the ATF, many other bureaus I'm about to read to you, the FBI, having to fight back the people in the street who are worked up by the likes of Hakeem Jeffries. But in reality, what it was is two Twin City restaurants out in Minneapolis targeted by federal law enforcement. You know why? Because they were protesting. It was immigration enforcement. And so everybody went crazy. Were to serve search warrants for drugs and money laundering. It had nothing to do with immigration. Later Tuesday afternoon, a spokesman for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement called the event a groundbreaking criminal operation and said it was the first in Minnesota under the Homeland Security Task Force umbrella. From drug smuggling to criminal labor trafficking, this operation shows the breadth of our collective missions and strength of a united front. It involved the FBI, the IRS, the ERO, the ATF, the USMC, the DSS, the U.S. Border Patrol, U.S. Coast Guard, and the TSA. So exactly whose agents, Hakeem, are you asking to unmask? All of them? Because when you say irresponsible things like you did, those are the repercussions of your actions, putting our agents' lives in danger. And someone, hopefully, someday, will be held to account for this. But of course they won't, right? And on top of all of this, on top of Homan saying it's coming, on top of Patel saying that the threat is real, it's imminent, on top of Hakeem Jeffries' irresponsibility, then Trump has to contend with Elon Musk on top of it all, who declares war on President Trump. I guess he wanted to stay in the limelight a little bit longer. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. He's like that. He's like one of the NFL players that should just go into retirement. Thank you for what you did. You did an amazing service to this country. Fade away. Because you're not running the country, Elon. You never were running the country. You were providing a very valuable service, but that service is now expired as it relates to your term. So step away and shut up. Congress is making America bankrupt. He's not wrong in his facts. We have fallen into further bankruptcy. There's no question of that. It will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt. But that is not the design of the big, beautiful bill, now is it? Does it put us into shorter term debt? It does. But how are you going to fund growth without funding? How are we ever going to get ourselves out of this if we don't support domestic industry? If we don't tariff imports to assure we could produce more here and become more self-sustaining, Elon? What's your plan? Rather than just trying to stay in the limelight. Congress is making America bankrupt. They have for years and years and years. So somebody's trying to fix it, and you're going to throw cold water on it. Of course you are. Carolyn Levitt had something to say about it.
Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Succinct, direct, to the point. He's not going to change anything because it's the president's bill. It's not Elon Musk's bill. So Elon, if you disagreed and you truly cared, as you showed, about cutting wasteful spending and did your due diligence to we the people, as we requested, thank you for that. But now it's time to step away. Oh, here's Mikey Johnson. Oh, I can't wait to hear what this genius has to say.
Yeah, let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful.
Okay, great. He's wrong. How about stating this is President Trump's bill? This is not Elon Musk's bill. Elon Musk's job was to cut wasteful spending, not to dictate budgetary bills. Period. Could he have an opinion? Of course. But someone who was in such the limelight with President Trump, if you want to continue to make America great again, sometimes you just have to go behind the curtain and fade away. Rand Paul coming out, I agree with Elon. We have both seen the massive waste in government spending, and we know another $5 trillion in debt is a huge mistake. We can and must do better. Oh, we're still under fight for this one, aren't we? Cernovich coming out. Republicans always lie about spending cuts, which they traditionally do. Paul Ryan gave Obama everything he wanted. It's jarring to realize what a scam it is. Republicans know that they can get away with it, as the alternative is what we lived under. And it would be even worse. How to reform it all? Big challenge. So that statement I agree with. It is a big challenge. So should we just continue to do what we were doing? Should we not attempt to bolster American supply lines and make sure we bring manufacturing back home? And that costs money to do and infrastructure to do, because all we wasted our money is on pieces of equipment sitting there, spinning in the sky, generating energy that are now dilapidated and falling down because they didn't prove out to be true. Or how about all those charging stations that we spent money on? How many were actually built? How about this infrastructure that you were working on? How did that work out for us? So let's just continue to do the same, Elon. Let's just continue to do the same, Cernovich, right? That's what they're asking. Because anything you put in front of them is easy to ridicule and rip down. But I give you one final point to this. Because if for a second you agree with Elon and you agree with Cernovich, which is fine, it's your right. Do you agree with Chuck Schumer too? Because he agrees with Elon. He's right. Republicans should listen to him. When you see the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer come out and agree with anything, run the other way. No better way I can highlight it in for you, huh? So in conclusion, they just warned us. Two people just warned us. Something unthinkable's coming. But now it's not a warning. It seems like more of a countdown. And the people meant to protect you are too busy infighting, playing politics, to keep their eye on the ball. And that's the biggest concern I have. What about you? I can ask you one single question with one word. What best describes what's happening right now in America? One word. Put it in the comments below. I love you all. Wish I could provide you better, more optimistic news today, but unfortunately, Washington, D.C. has decided otherwise. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.